What's up, guys, and welcome back to my channel. Shara Bullet is set to grapple Jorge Masvidal at Hype Brazil on March 11th. Shara shared the announcement on his Instagram, and Jorge responded with a simple, enthusiastic comment saying, "Let's go." This matchup marks Shara's second appearance at Hype Brazil, where he previously competed against Arman. That earlier fight ended in a draw, showcasing Shara's competitive skills and determination on the mat. Fans are excited to see how he performs this time against a high-profile opponent like Jorge Masvidal, who brings experience, skill, and intensity to the upcoming showdown. And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to help support the channel. Moving on to another news, Diego Lopes has revealed that he is seriously considering a move up to the lightweight division after falling short in 2 attempts to capture the featherweight title. The dangerous Brazilian fighter explained that the idea of changing weight classes has been on his mind for quite some time. According to Lopes, the conversation is no longer just a thought. He has already begun discussing the possibility with members of his team and management. They are now evaluating whether moving up to 155 pounds could be the right step for the next phase of his career. Lopes made it clear that nothing has been finalized yet. Before making any major decision, he wants to sit down with the UFC and have a proper discussion about the potential switch. He believes it is important to analyze the opportunities available in the lightweight division and make sure the move benefits his long-term goals. He also pointed out that fighting at lightweight could allow him to compete closer to his natural weight, potentially improving his performance and durability inside the octagon. Moving on to another news. Colby Covington has called for a trilogy showdown with Kamaru Usman, but this time he wants it to happen in real American freestyle wrestling rather than inside the UFC octagon. Colby and Usman already share a heated rivalry that produced 2 memorable fights for the UFC welterweight title. Their first meeting took place in 2019, where Usman defeated Colby by TKO in the 5th round after a brutal and competitive battle. The 2 fighters met again in 2021, and once more Usman came out on top, winning the rematch by unanimous decision. Despite those losses, Colby believes their rivalry is far from settled. Speaking in a recent interview, he claimed there is still unfinished business between them. According to Colby, the first fight ended in what he considers an early stoppage, while he insists many fans believed he won the second fight by a close score of 3 rounds to 2. Because of that, Colby is now inviting Usman to settle the score in real American freestyle wrestling, hoping to finally complete the trilogy. Moving on to another news. Volkanovski believes his recent win over Diego Lopes may have had a bigger impact than just another title defense. The featherweight champion said he almost feels bad for Diego, explaining that their fight might have ruined his best opportunity to become champion. According to Volkanovski, the matchup was stylistically one of the worst possible scenarios for Diego. He explained that many fighters in the division would likely get dragged into Diego's aggressive and chaotic style, but he approached the fight with patience, discipline, and a strict game plan that lasted the full 25 minutes. Volkanovski said his ability to control distance, manage the pace, and dictate positioning around the octagon allowed him to neutralize Diego's biggest strengths. With smart footwork and high-level fight IQ, he avoided dangerous exchanges and kept the fight exactly where he wanted it. The champion also suggested that Diego's quick turnaround into a title fight may have hurt his chances. Stepping into such a high-pressure situation so soon might have cost him the best shot of his career. In Volkanovski's view, most fighters would struggle to replicate the kind of control he maintained that night. He believes Diego will bounce back stronger. Moving on to another news. Daniel Cormier believes Khamzat might be capable of competing at light heavyweight after watching recent sparring footage that surprised him. After seeing Khamzat train with Luke Rockhold and Khalil Rountree, Cormier admitted his opinion about Khamzat's size and potential weight class may have changed. Initially, Cormier always believed that if Khamzat ever moved up to 205 pounds, the size difference would eventually become a serious problem. The light heavyweight division is filled with naturally larger fighters, and it seemed difficult to imagine Khamzat matching their physical presence over time. However, that perspective started to shift after Cormier saw videos of Khamzat sparring with Khalil Rountree. According to Cormier, Khamzat's back looked incredibly big and powerful to the point where he already resembled a full-sized light heavyweight fighter. Seeing that kind of frame immediately caught his attention. Cormier then watched another clip showing Khamzat training with Luke Rockhold, who is known for being a large athlete and currently walks around at well over 200 pounds. Rockhold stands around 6'4" and carries significant size even outside of competition. Despite that, Cormier noticed that Khamzat did not appear smaller at all. In fact, in some moments he even looked just as big as Rockhold. The striking exchanges in the sparring footage also impressed Cormier. When Khamzat was trading with Khalil Rountree, a fighter widely respected for his striking ability, it appeared that Khamzat was holding his own and even winning certain exchanges. For someone facing a dangerous striker like Rountree, that stood out immediately. Cormier also pointed out clips of Khamzat kicking with Rockhold, where the power behind the strikes seemed comparable. Seeing Khamzat generate that level of force against much bigger training partners further reinforced the idea that he could handle the physical demands of the division. Based on everything he saw, Cormier admitted he is beginning to believe that Khamzat could realistically fight at 205 pounds. He even recalled a moment in Chicago when Khamzat lifted him, saying the strength he felt then seemed greater than when Khamzat was competing at welterweight. Watching Khamzat now standing alongside naturally larger fighters has convinced Cormier that the move to light heavyweight might actually be possible. Moving on to another news, Max Holloway is preparing for a huge fight as he gets ready to defend his BMF title against Charles Oliveira at UFC 326. While the matchup itself is already exciting for fans, Holloway made it clear that his long-term goal goes far beyond just holding the BMF belt. According to Holloway, the ultimate dream is to become a two-division undisputed champion. He explained that while the BMF title represents exciting fights and big moments, it is not the final destination he is chasing in his career. For Holloway, the real goal is holding undisputed gold in multiple weight classes. He acknowledged that the BMF belt has its own value and brings a lot of attention, but he believes every fighter entering the sport dreams about becoming an undisputed champion. That is the standard he continues to chase, and becoming a champion in two different divisions would be the ultimate accomplishment. However, Holloway also made it clear that his full focus right now is on Charles Oliveira. He showed a lot of respect for his opponent, describing Oliveira as a dangerous fighter and a true killer inside the octagon. Holloway said Oliveira looks extremely motivated heading into the fight and appears to be in great shape based on recent interviews and training clips. Because of that, Holloway knows he cannot overlook the challenge in front of him. He emphasized that the only thing that matters right now is stepping into the octagon, performing at his best, and getting his hand raised on fight night. The fight is scheduled to take place on March 7th in Las Vegas, a location Holloway described as feeling almost like a home event for Hawaiian fighters. He expects a strong presence of Hawaii fans in the arena and believes the atmosphere will be electric, with Hawaiian flags flying throughout the crowd. Holloway also addressed fans who keep bringing up his first fight with Oliveira. He explained that the bout happened a long time ago, and he does not put much importance on it anymore. In his eyes, both fighters have evolved since then, and the upcoming matchup is an entirely different challenge. For Holloway, the focus is all about creating memorable moments inside the cage. He believes MMA is a sport built on iconic moments that define careers and place fighters in the history books. If he can deliver another highlight performance against Oliveira, it would be another step toward that legacy. He also expressed excitement about the sport continuing to reach new audiences. Holloway mentioned the growing numbers and exposure surrounding recent UFC broadcasts, saying it gives fighters a chance to introduce the sport to many new fans. In the end, Holloway is motivated by the opportunity to perform on a big stage, deliver another memorable moment, and continue his journey toward becoming a two-division champion. Moving on to another news. Henry Cejudo is preparing to compete in Real American Freestyle Wrestling, where he is scheduled to face Urijah Faber at RAF 6. The Olympic gold medalist is returning to his wrestling roots, and the event has already generated plenty of attention among combat sports fans. At the same time, Real American Freestyle recently made another major announcement by signing Merab to the promotion. Merab is expected to headline RAF 8 on April 18th, which immediately sparked conversation about a potential future clash with Cejudo. The rivalry between Cejudo and Merab already has history. The two previously met inside the UFC octagon at UFC 298, where Merab secured a unanimous decision victory after an intense and high-paced fight. That loss has clearly stayed on Cejudo's mind, and the news of Merab joining the same promotion has given him hope that a rematch could eventually happen. While discussing the signing, Cejudo jokingly referred to Merab as his nemesis and hinted that the opportunity for revenge might now be possible. He admitted that hearing the news made him think about payback and the possibility of settling the score in a wrestling setting. Despite the competitive tension, Cejudo also showed respect for Merab's abilities. He pointed out that Merab has built his reputation by relying on relentless wrestling pressure and an incredible work rate. According to Cejudo, that dedication to his style is a big reason why Merab has reached the top level of the sport. Cejudo also mentioned that Merab's decision to compete in real American freestyle shows his commitment to continuing to develop his wrestling skills. Instead of slowing down, Merab appears eager to sharpen the very style that helped him become one of the best fighters in the world. Cejudo himself revealed that he currently has a 3-match deal with the promotion, which means there is plenty of room for big matchups in the future. If everything lines up correctly, he believes a showdown between himself and Merab could easily become a major main event. Moving on to another news, Volkanovski also spoke about the featherweight contender picture and the upcoming matchup between Movsar Evloev and Lerone Murphy. According to Volkanovski, the UFC may have intentionally delayed the fight in order to build maximum anticipation and hype around it. Volkanovski explained that sometimes letting a fight simmer for a while can actually work in the promotion's favor. When fans wait longer for a matchup that clearly determines the next contender, excitement naturally grows. He believes that is exactly what has happened with Movsar and Lerone, as the buzz around the fight continues to increase. In his view, once that fight finally happens, the winner will carry undeniable momentum. The hype surrounding the matchup is already pushing fans to demand that whoever wins should receive the next shot at the featherweight title. Volkanovski believes that by the time the fight takes place, the public pressure will be strong enough that the next challenger will feel obvious. While discussing the division, Volkanovski also reflected again on his recent battles with Diego Lopes and why he believes their matchup was uniquely difficult for Diego. He admitted that he genuinely feels a bit sorry for him because stylistically, he might have been the worst possible opponent Diego could face. Volkanovski explained that most fighters would likely end up fighting Diego's type of fight. Diego's aggressive style tends to pull opponents into chaotic exchanges, where his power and pressure become dangerous. However, Volkanovski approached things very differently by sticking to a disciplined strategy for the entire fight. Using careful footwork, distance control, and constant adjustments, he was able to move Diego around the octagon and keep the fight under control. Volkanovski believes many fighters simply would not be able to replicate that approach for such a long period of time. He pointed out that maintaining that level of discipline for 25 minutes requires a very specific skill set. According to him, fighters often abandon their game plans once the pressure starts building, but he managed to stay composed and execute his strategy throughout the fight. Volkanovski also mentioned that after spending so much time studying Diego's movements, he felt confident he could control the pace and positioning. He even suggested that over the course of their matchups, he was able to keep Diego guessing and struggling to find answers. While Volkanovski acknowledged that Lerone Murphy is a talented fighter who could potentially give Diego problems with his style, he still believes the level of control he showed is extremely rare in the division. He admitted he is not trying to brag, but after successfully executing that strategy for 50 minutes across their fights, he feels confident saying he handled the challenge well. Moving on to another news, Khabib has fired back at recent comments made by Ilia, and the response quickly caught the attention of the MMA world. Ilia recently made bold remarks involving Khabib and his team, continuing the tension between himself and the Dagestani camp. Not long after those comments started circulating online, Khabib responded directly under a social media post discussing the situation. Writing in Russian, Khabib left a short but very clear message that translated to, "He should fly over here. Let's work." The message was simple, but it carried a direct challenge. Khabib's response was widely interpreted as an invitation for Ilia to come to Dagestan and settle things the traditional way, inside the gym. Rather than escalating the argument through more words, Khabib suggested a real sparring session where skills could do the talking. The location of the invitation also made the moment feel even more personal. Dagestan and Georgia share a border, which means the challenge was not just symbolic. Khabib essentially told Ilia that the door is open if he wants to prove himself against the fighters from that region. This exchange adds another layer to the growing rivalry between Ilia and the Dagestani team. Ilia has been outspoken lately, especially when talking about Islam Makhachev. His confident statements and aggressive attitude have drawn plenty of attention, including comments suggesting he would step on Khabib's head if that is what it takes to reach the top. At the same time, Team Khabib is dealing with uncertainty surrounding Islam Makhachev's next fight. Discussions about a possible welterweight matchup with Kamaru Usman recently stalled after UFC executive Hunter Campbell reportedly pushed against the idea. With that option now unclear, the welterweight title picture remains wide open, leaving several potential contenders waiting to see what happens next.